Being game number 1 of a best of 3 in the round of 16,
Game paused.
we're going to get a quick little pause here. I like the way Red paused and then typed GLHF. Just like, pause, good luck, have fun. Let that soak in. We may actually have to... poor Red people. Probably spamming a lot to get into this game. Anyway, spawning up in the top right hand position as the red Terran player, representing MaxFlow, it is souL. And to the lower left, his opponent, representing Team Liquid, the blue Zerg Ret. Ret, of course, a well-known Dutch player, souL less well-known, but looking to potentially make a breakthrough into Challenger League. This is the wildcard qualifier for Season 2 of WCS EU, and as a result, this is going to be some very interesting times, because only 4 more spots are available in next week's Challenger League, and everyone in this qualifier wants them. There was a lot of people, I think in total there was something like 130, who had the required 200 wins in Season 1 or Season 2 of 2014 to actually play in it, and it's been intense so far. People who are doing relatively well in the bracket at the moment, if I hit that refresh, some notable people in the round of 16 are of course Tefl, SLH, Lambo King, Minimath, Adele, Scott, Ret, and souL, Morrow, and A-Bomb are the current competitors. Some notable people who've been knocked out sit with Zoke, Johnny Rico, Hero Marine, Orc, Revenge, and Alistair. There's some people who've done very well in the previous qualifiers this week. So it's a tough bracket, and with so much on the line, there's a huge amount of pressure on these players. In terms of openings, we've got a Rax into a Gas from souL, so he's going to be going for a Reaper Expand. Meanwhile, if we take a little look over at Red Space, he's gone for a Hatch Burst into a Pool, into a Gas. Very standard stuff. Nothing crazy really going on from these players. They're just happy sitting here waiting patiently, just like, you know what, let's go for normal builds in this first game. Reapers are alright on Overgrowth, but I'm actually going to demonstrate on this side. There's not as much cliff area as it initially seems. You can't access any of this area, so the only way you can get Reapers up is through here and through here, which means that they're not as tough to defend. You'll see a lot of Zerg players, if they are expecting Reapers to come over, potentially put, say, 4 Lings positioned just back a bit here, and so that if a Reaper jumps up, they just instantly jump on it and kill it off. That can be really frustrating as a Terran. Reaper now on its way across for souL. Going to be looking to do some pokey, a little bit of proddy, and a little bit of killy of some drones. Working where to hatch. Reapers are very bad against hatches, but they're good against Zerglings. Still, keep going. And we're getting some good damage through here. Drone is nearly getting taken out. Going to try and get chased down, but it becomes an extractor. Zergling's still pressuring this back. A second Reaper on its way through. Coming across the map now. And going to be keeping a good little peek on whether these stay alive, because the likely follow-on from 2 Reapers is, of course, 4 to 6 Hellions. And the Reapers are required to tank up that damage when they come through from the Queens. So it's already softening up these Queens a little bit. But you can't let the Reapers die. They've got to stay alive so they can get out of there, heal up with combat drugs all nice and fast, and then come back in. So, getting in a 3rd CC, but he's not shy about this. He's happy to put it right out on display in front of this Overlord. Says, hey, do you like my 3rd CC? And Red's going to be like, no, not really. This is annoying. You're going to have a great economy. You're going to be producing a lot of SCVs. You're going to have tons of mules. And Red can either respond by taking... Well, he should take a quick 3rd now anyway, because he knows only harassment will be coming. But he may actually want to come and deal with this command center, as opposed to leaving it up. If it was in the main base, that'd be a different thing. Loving the fact Red is scouting so well. He's got, obviously, Overlords coming onto their little Overlords bench there, and one up in the main base getting a good little peek around. More Reapers are actually on the way out, and that getting seen is quite interesting. A 3rd Reaper added in. As a result, there's no Marines, no anti-air, so that's not going to be able to pick off this Overlord, so he's completely safe. But souL just playing this very greedy. He needs to get a decent amount done with harassment, but can't move out yet because he knows there are some lings out and that his wall off isn't yet completed. Rep moving these lings back, just wanted to get a little check around to see what was going on. Meanwhile, he's also busy with his third base, about half done. Double evolution chamber is now down. No Roach Warren as of yet for the Liquid Zerg. Quite often something you will see, 2 Evos and a Roach Warren chucked down, although this creep tumor may actually be blocking it, which is a little bit annoying. So getting that wall off and preventing anything from happening will be a little bit tough. Red now up to 11 speedlings, ready to try and shut down any harassment that may come through. There is in grand total 6 Hellions and 3 Reapers, so this is a much bigger push than you generally see in terms of the harassment. So the Queen's taking a decent amount of damage. There isn't enough energy on either of the others to transfuse it, so it will go down. An early loss, 22 more Zerglings in production, and Red is having to produce significantly in order to hold this off. And this works out well for souL, because he's doing nothing but macroing up behind this. He's delayed his tech a little bit, but he's got the double engineering base to start double upgrades. He's got his third CC up, and he's just adding in some more production. So, from this harassment, while he hasn't killed any workers as of yet, he's forced so many Zerglings at 33 that actually you've delayed the droning from a Zerg player, and so Red a little lower than he would be otherwise. Coming in again, the Hellions getting a couple of nice shots off here. Having to back away though, those Speedlings frantically trying to get this round. Going to be able to grab a couple of the Reapers and also a few of the Hellions. That is really nice for them. Going to keep chasing this down. A couple more Lings coming in for the interception. If the Hellions stop, they will get surrounded again, but the Ling numbers are a lot lower than they were previously, so it's going to be significantly harder in order for them to engage. Nice engagement position there, although Rep backing out. Overall, resources lost does favour souL, who's also got the slightly better economy at the moment, but Red should feel confident that he's relatively safe now and will chuck down a lot of drones very quickly. And we can see that already showing an effect. He's going to be going up to 70 drones off of 3 bases, so he will be a little bit oversaturated across those, but a 4th base is likely to be on the cards since 1 drone is already moving down there. So, now with his 3rd floating down, he's going to have that additional base of income, while also producing his first few medevacs. Synced in with Stim and the 1-1 upgrades, there's the opportunity for a nice timing push, although 1-1 is a little way off still. About 90 seconds, so a minute and a half in-game. And that's a long time waiting for something to happen. Rep potentially thinking there's something going on here, but his overlord should say that no, there isn't. He hasn't seen the CC float across. And what he really wants to do with those banelings is to try and get some nice detonations down on a couple of SCVs. Speedlings coming in from the side, again harassing up into those Hellions, but the Marines should force them back. While souL queues up a double drop that gets scouted very early on by some great overlord placement by the Team Liquid Zerg. No units here as of yet in order to defend this. 32 Lings now in production. And Red's 4th base is nearly done, but that's going to start getting pressured by a push to the side. So souL predominantly focusing on this split push on both sides of the map. Quite a few drones getting taken out here. 8 Mutalisks are on the way, but a lot of Speedlings getting in position to deal with this. The Spire taking a substantial amount of damage. It's gonna fall. That is an amazing snipe off there by souL, who's also pushing in from the right. His double drop gets out of there. However, he's got some Banelings and some Zerglings in his natural, so he's not coming out of this completely clean either. He's got quite a bit of damage being done to him, but he's dealing out a decent amount too. So a quick little recap of exactly what happened there. So he came in, managed to snipe off the Spire and deal a bit of drone damage, and dealt a decent amount of drone damage to the right. Losing, or potentially losing these drops, but with the Marines unloading, this small number of Mutalisks aren't able to engage this. All the Mutas go down to these couple of Marines. That is not ideal for Red right there. So, he lost more workers though. He lost 15 compared to killing 8, but he sniped off a Spire. A Spire takes 100 in-game seconds to make. That is massive. No more Mutalisks are going to be on their way, and after having just killed a couple, I think he actually killed 5. Yep, that is ginormous for souL, who's now up in the army supply, 86 to 42. And even though he's down in the workers, when we factor in mules, souL's mineral income is higher. So still, souL being very aggressive, getting some good scans down because Red has amazing creep spread this game. But in he comes now. The splits on these Marines are going alright at the moment. Baneling's getting focused down. A couple of Mutas trying to engage as well. The Lings closing up some distance on the ground, but Red's army just melts to the superior volume of units that souL currently has. The Mutalisks also taking a decent amount of damage, and souL just pushing in. Red, GG, well played, losing that Spire. Too much of a blow for him to come back from. And the Max Flow player takes game number 1 in this best of 3.